So anyway, we had this long talk today and this afternoon after the kitties were gone. And he said, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something to the effect that we need a lot of time, and I know what it was that he brought up. He said, what are you going to do if, your dad just, what are you going to do if you lose your job? And I said, well, I don't quite know that question or that answer. I suppose I will look for another job. And then he said quite a few things. He said, well, I know you don't want to go back home, but your dad's going to want you to go back home. What's he going to do? Pay all your stuff? You've got bills and stuff and everything, and he can't pay everything. Well, no shit, he can't pay everything. I'm a big girl, did you forget it? Yeah, I pretty much know he can't pay everything. Then he said to me something to the effect that something about December and marriage and getting married and all that. And I said, well, do you remember what you said in December? Or I don't know. I don't know if I said that, or I don't even know exactly how it was stated. But he said something about marriage. And I said, yeah. And he said something like, well, I said, yeah, do you remember what you said? I said, do you remember what you said about December? And he goes, well, I didn't really want to say that, so I kind of hinted around to see if he remembered what he said. And he goes, why don't you just spit it out? And I said, no, never mind. And he goes, yeah, say what's on your mind. And I said, well, do you remember what you said about December? He goes, well, did you think I was going to get you a ring for December? Did you think that I was going to... He goes, what did you think? I said, I didn't think you were going to get me a ring for December. I don't know what I thought. He had told me that if we made it through till December, that he may ask me to marry him. What am I supposed to think about that? What was I supposed to think back before? I mean, when someone tells you that, what the fuck are you supposed to think? What in God's... Excuse me. What are you supposed to think? Tell me what you're supposed to think. I knew it was too soon. And, I'm the type of person that I have to date someone for a while before I'll even... I just don't rush out here and get married. I'm 35 years old. Well, not 35 yet. I'm still 34. Holding 34 for a while. I'm the type of person that has to date. Obviously, I've dated men for a long time. The longest I've dated someone is 3.5 years. And I never got married to him. Granted, right now, that I'm approaching 35. And I'll be honest with you. I don't want to date Steve for no 3.5 years before we get married. Because my time clock is ticking, and I do want a child. And I did something really stupid in the beginning of our relationship. And I'll tell y'all what I did. But, that's probably going to be in another segment. But anyway, he says, well, what did you think that, I was going to get you a ring? And I was like, no, I didn't expect him to get me a ring. I don't know what I expected. I just expected him to at least talk to me about We haven't even discussed it for, at least a month or a month and a half, or we haven't discussed it for quite a while now. Probably since my depression kicked in, and since before his birthday, which was in November. So it's been a while since we've discussed the marriage thing. I think I was off in September, and he took me. Okay, I know there's women out there. How would you feel if the person that you cared about, the person that you were in love with, said, hey, I didn't do this. I did not do this. He took me to a jewelry shop, and we were looking at wedding rings, engagement rings, and wedding bands. Now, what would you think of that if your boyfriend did that? He said he wanted to get an idea of what I liked. Okay, so we did that. Now, what would you think? What would you think? Excuse me. Would you think he's going to ask you to marry him pretty soon, or? Excuse me. Wouldn't you think in the near future he's going to ask you to marry him? I mean, you wouldn't think that he's going to wait like 5 years, would you? Would you think he's going to wait 4 years? Would you think he's going to wait 2 years? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just being hypothetical. I mean, I'm just rambling, I guess. I said, well, taking me to the jewelry store, was that all fake? I mean, did you not mean that? I mean, did you feel pressured into that? The reason I was saying, did you feel pressured into that, is because there's something else that he felt pressured into that we talked about. And I'll get to that here in just a second. And I said, did you feel pressured into doing that? Is that why you did that? He goes, oh, no, I wanted to do that because I wanted to see what you liked and what your style was. And I said, okay, because I said, I never pressured you into taking me to a jewelry store. Ever. I was fucking nervous as hell. Nobody's ever took me to a jewelry store and said, okay, what type of things do you like, and what type of ring do you like, and what do you like? Nobody has ever done that. I have been engaged before, but the man got me the ring and never, he just got me the ring and proposed and all that kind of stuff on his own. But I've never been took to a jewelry store and said, okay, here, look at these things and pick one out. Well, that's what he did. And I know a lot about jewelry. I know a lot about diamonds and their cut and their quality and their clarity and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm very picky, and I know what I like. So anyway, I said, did you feel pressured into doing that? And he said no. I said, okay. Well, from the day that this is the personal part, and he would probably shit if I tell you all this. Maybe nobody will watch this, so it probably won't be important anyway. And maybe I'll get one viewer that watches it. Woohoo! I've got 1 minute, so maybe I shouldn't get started on this yet, but we sit there. I'll wait and I'll start the other part next, but we sat and talked all this time, and he there's things that he was feeling pressured about, and I didn't even know this. And why didn't we discuss this a long time ago? Because it sure as hell would have helped our relationship if I would have known some of the things he was feeling pressured about. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I understand he's been in shitty relationships, and he's had 2 marriages fail over women cheating on him. And, I don't want to cheat on him, and I never will cheat on him. because I'm deeply in love with this man. Next part.